All right, we'll wait for some people to come on, and in the meantime, I'm going to be working on the green area down at the bottom for a few. Painting the rose part 2. Okay. All set. Let's get the airbrush in here. All right. So I'm using Createx illustration colors that are transparent, and I make my own matches with white and other colors added in. Right in my eyes. So, Steve Leahy, how are you? I threw a little tag at you. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be, first of all, putting some more green closer to. That's just frisket, right? Closer to the stem, where I took the X-acto knife and I etched out the thorns, just, in the lightly sprayed area, just to find them again, just like this kind of stuff. I'm not worried about the points on them because the green coming back in will help. All right, yay, you made it. All right, so you know what I'm working on here. You probably saw that I had the advertisements up. So I'm going to just put, let's see, they're protected. So I'm trying to scratch and etch on them, and they've got frisket on them. All right, so we've got my green. It was mixed last week. I added a little yellow, a couple drops just to kick it up a notch. And I stir it, obviously, with the brush. And the 40-20, what is it, 40-21? Yeah, 40-21 reducer. This paint, Steve, lasts forever. I mean, this stuff is, besides that it makes it flow really nice, it just lasts so long that I could do like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I haven't had it really dry up. Hey, Stuart, how you doing? Welcome on board from down under. Okay, so I'm going to just put some of that background color, which I stayed away from the stem last week. I stayed away from this area on purpose because it had no film on it and it wasn't really etched out. That's good. Okay, so let's get that nozzle crown cap off. And now go in and start. I need a little piece of, I could pin that under there, I guess. All right, so all I'm trying to do is bring the green up right now to the stem. Whoops, sorry. Okay. All right, so we have the green background color. And now I can paint, I'll just test one little area right here. Well, it's covered, so I'm safe. Because the neat thing about the thorns, it's pretty dark along there too. That's going to enhance that red that's going to come out. The backlighting of those. Yeah, the darker that is. They just look like they're plugged in like little Christmas lights. All right, So one more time here. I'll get up there too, but right now I am going to clean off that piece of film. So how are you guys doing? Hey Gary, how you doing? So, oh, that with that, yeah, that's a thorn there. I thought the Q-tip actually clobbered it, but didn't. I could probably use my finger. Okay, so the stem is probably, when you really look at it, I see like reddish browns, you know, maybe purple, a little violet, in the stem area here. And I love how it goes into like a blue on the highlight over here. I took this with my camera probably quite a while ago, and it's just sitting in my, I think I took this in about 2013, 2012 with the Micron 5100. I had the zoom lens on the camera. I went out at the end of the day when the sun was low in the sky, golden hour, and I was looking for all different flowers and stuff, anything that would lend itself to having light come through. And that's what the sun was doing. It was lighting up the flower. And then, of course, that's the beautiful grass, the sky. I don't know if that's clouds or what. And then this probably is dense trees. And there's just the shadow of the trees probably making the grass look darker. So great bokeh, out of focus look, golden hour, sunlight, all kinds of fun stuff. Now this could all be painted with transparent, and you could treat it, you know, pretty lights and darks, carefully spraying in the area and controlling the amount of paint you're putting down so that you get you don't have to pre-mix and all that. Well, you got to mix a little if you're going to. For me, I would want to have a mixture of some accuracy, even though they're transparent. So like I said, I stayed away from this area. I see a little, I got to put some air pressure on that and dry that. Send that out there a little more and get rid of that dot. A little frisket is on the thorns. If it's not, if there's a piece or so that's not protected, then I could turn around and etch them out with the X-acto knife. I have to find them again, but so I know this green is real dark, so I'm just gonna 100% it right here. That's covered. This is covered in frisket. Wasn't gonna do that. I was gonna basically use paper shields, but I decided to do it. So I might regret it because the frisket is so hard edged. I might have a little back and forth with the other colors to kill the edges, but that's what I did, so I'm sticking with it. All right, so again, we're gonna just free up that so we know where it is. Plus, I always like to peek and see things. I put frisket on stuff and then I lift it up and peek at it. I was painting a jet one time and it was coming out really cool. But the thing is, I came back from Drew's class and I went and decided to just paint a jet. Hold on one second. Pick this picture off the wall. Okay, I've shown this before. Wow, I got tape on there and everything. Okay, so when I was painting this is the, gosh, I knew what this was at one time, but I don't remember at the moment. But anyway, maybe you guys do. When I was working on this, there's damage on here, and so this is old. This is 1999, and I just gotten back from Drew's school, and I didn't have him over my shoulder anymore. You know, I had to do this thing on my own, and with the heat distortion. So when I was getting in the frisket area, obviously this was all covered with frisket, I was starting to feel like something's working, something's coming out decent, and it's probably because it was not, trying to do a portrait or something, which I was not schooled in at that point, but I was just winging it. But anyway, I started to peel the frisket off just to peek, and then I had to realign it, and I was like, but I was so excited to see something happening. You know what I mean? This is illustration board, and I'll give you a little better view here. So it's pretty big. I don't remember the size exactly. It's fun to do the heat distortion. It was fun to get away from the wrong colors. Like a lot of times I would paint grass and too bright of green, too close to the edge of the color wheel, and that kind of stuff. And then just working with the colors from the military there, like this. It's like I didn't even have it down like I have now, more control of color theory, but this is what I did, and you got to have the color correct lighting. You got to have a lot of things, everything that is ordered by, the teacher saying, if you want the results, you have to do this, that, and the other thing. Well, I only had part of this together back then, but I just got out of his class and I was pretty excited. So, all right, so we've got this this area, which I'm going to air dry that a little bit. Could use a hair dryer. Up here, let's get this open. Is that open? I'm not sure if that's opened. I'll find out. What I did with the frisket, there's no resistance here from the glue, because I basically put this on my skin right here. I put the frisket on my arm, and I removed a lot of the glue by just sticking it to my arm, and then you have something much easier to work with, because the glue is too strong. And I wouldn't know that, what to do if I wasn't in the class, because all the frisket was doing that everywhere. One company, two companies. Drew was saying that the different companies all, like, they might have art tool on it or something. I could be wrong, but if you bought another film, it was coming from kind of the same place and different packaging names on it. So making that really dark, because that is really dark in there. Probably could hit that with some black, which I'll do right now. Just a drop in the airbrush. This is where you got your colors mixed, and then you got to use your mind to say, okay, that needs to be darker. I'm not going to put black in that mixture, so I'm just going to take a little bit and just add it to the top like a mist. Here we go. Testing it on the side. Still green, still green. There we go. So I'm just going to spray. I still want to see a little bit of the green, but I'm going to deepen it with the black just around this side of the painting, not out there, because I'm seeing it, especially up here, I'm seeing like almost black. Okay, so that'll look cool in the end when you just see the transition just go from dark to the lighter greens. Okay, so this is covered up here, and now I got to piece that little guy back on there. But yeah, the glue on here is just enough to stick, but it's not not going to be like you can't get it off. I got to get that in there. Oops, off alignment. That's one thing I do not like about frisket. is working with it. I like it when it's all freehand and you don't have to use, or paper shields or mylar shields and all that kind of stuff. They've got a little bit of a thing I'm trying to get right there. I think I'm there, but I'm not far enough over. I might have taken off too much glue. It's sticking, but I could always use a freehand shield at that point. I'm going to go with that for now. Put the other one on. This one, the little tip got knocked off. It'll still work for what it's worth. I can always just pay attention to that little area right there and do the flower part. All right, so that's what we got for right now. We're going to go to the rose part and let this harden more. This should line back up. This one flipped over, so we want to get that freed up. There we go. And this one is not, what did I do? Take it off completely? I think I did. Okay. When I get to that area, I will deal with that. But I don't remember putting it off to the side. Okay, so let's go with, okay, let's get some rose color in there. I could open up the whole inside, which could work probably better for me, but right now I'm going to go for just around in here. I have to remember there's highlights and all kinds of... And one thing I'm not liking about the frisket is when the corners get kind of... I used to have a great pair of tweezers. Yeah, this corner is getting ruined. Now, do I have a flat tip? Nope. I'll go there. This might be getting ruined because the cut wasn't complete. Okay. That is this color. Yeah. I might open up the center, but in the meantime, you want to change the blade when you're cutting, probably after a good minute of cutting. You'll know because it's not going to sink in. Now, I usually work from light to dark, but they are separated. This pink is separated from this, but there's a smooth transition, so I might end up pulling all the frisket out of the middle and just working it that way. But in the meantime, I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm putting the lid back on my green and my black. Okay, where did I put the lid to that one? So when you do have the backing paper, that would be this. For those that are using frisket, you could take the pieces off and line them up on the paper, you know, where you kind of just to help you find the pieces again. Yeah, duct tape for sure. Oh, so you've dealt with it, huh? Yeah, we put duct tape on here and we'll cut. Oh boy, yeah. They gotta work for us. I mean, we don't want glue. We want the glue, but we don't want, like you said, we don't want Gorilla Glue, you know, or something like that. I do have this cut out for the outer edge, and that's all I used for last week. You know, I just put it kept lining it up and then just spraying off of it. That might be what I'll end up doing. I have the copies, the black and whites, and I can simply make that shapes because you're not going to get with the curves and stuff. I'm not going to get exactly what I need with the shields. I mean, it might be a little tricky, a little bit tricky. So let's take this red and test it and get the black out of the gun. It was really interesting trying to get this burgundy color right here. I'm calling it burgundy. So I was having trouble, and I've used this before where I would say to Google, I have the color wheel and I have the different, instructions from the color theory course and all that. But sometimes you just get like a senior moment or a brain freeze, and you just can't think enough. And it's like, what is this? I've got this nice red, kind of like that red. Now I'm trying to get darker like that red. Red's hard to work with, at least for me. And then I needed to send it into the burgundy world. And I was like, what is it? What is it? I'm trying magenta. I'm trying this, that. And then finally I said, Google, how do you make burgundy? And it said I needed to add blue and possibly even a little burnt umber or some brown of sorts. And sure enough, one drop of the one, not even a full drop, but paintbrush, whatever I used to mix it into the red, it's deepened it right away into a lovely color that I could use. But it's color theory is amazing. So that's where I came up with this color. So I was getting tired, as you can see. That was number 13. That didn't mean I mixed 13 colors yesterday. It meant out of all these colors, there's 13 or whatever. So this was done though. So the 4 and the 3 and that, they're just my markers and my notes that help me know that number 13 is where it is on that little picture. But anyway, let's get some red on there. That would be, yeah, like I said, I almost grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed what I call number 10. It's lighter. Believe it or not, that's lighter than that one. And so I grabbed the number 9 that I mixed it's a really nice red. It's dark, it's gray meaning the saturation's cut back, but it's probably the most, I'm going to say, pure red on the rose that I see. A little bit of distilled water and one more test on the piece of paper on the side to make sure that black and green is gone. Because sometimes the airbrush wants to hold, it wants to hold a little bit of dirt in there of a color. And when you're starting to go back to a lighter color, my gosh, you got to get that clean. Okay, so here we go. Test it on the side, and I will put a piece of paper up for 1 second to just show you guys how I could treat this. I could treat this like 100% would be, there's the dot. Stay on. I don't want to waste a lot of paint, so I'll do a small dot. You can see the true red that's trying to come. But I can actually start looking for the pinks and the lighter colors from the same color. And you get lighter versions, But that's the true color right there, sprayed full, 100%. So that's what I mixed. So that's what I'm going to spray in right here. I'm going to try to stay away from the edges of that for a minute. So there's the lighter. Yeah, I'm just going to dust the edges, and I'm going to focus on the middle, and you'll watch the red go into closer to that red. Just the middle. That's not even 100% yet. So how hard is this edge? It's almost blending into it. So I'm going to start to lift I'm going to just move the frisket as I need to. So I'm going to take that red and the red that is, boy, the pictures are different though. My big picture, different colors. Look at that. But this is the one I went by. So this, interesting. I like this better actually. A little less of the darkness. So I might just cheat a little bit and just open this up here. Not cheat, but work between the two photos. So this section right here really and truly, that comes down, and if anything, it gets more intense right here. So I'm going to just bring it down, kill the line. I'm not worried about the drawing because this will make me make a decision too right away about, do I want to get rid of the inner frisket? Because it kind of just comes down. It's lighter there. I could just spray this color lighter. And let's just put this in here for a minute. Now this is going to have darker burgundy-ish color on it. So I'll just spray this color 100% right here. And I think I'm going to be taking the frisket off in places on the inside. So that's that. This runs into that. What we got here, a nice line. So I want to bury that. Yeah, I've gotten too dark there. So the inside frisket's going to come off. It's not going to help me at this point. It's just going to create hard edges. I'm not even worried about saving pieces. Better to have it ready for what I thought might happen tonight, which is veil the inner frisket and just kind of paint like a transparent with this color in mind though. I'm just gonna, there's a lot of softer edges. There's all kinds of stuff. I don't care about saving the pieces. I'm just gonna do my thing. Because the edges are, I talk about edges all the time, and the edges are, they're intermediate. They're not a hard edge like a frisket. So let's just get that out of there. Color graphics, how are you? So there's frisket there. Goodbye, frisket. It was nice while I had you here, but I could see that you're going to ruin my rose if I don't get rid of you. So I'm getting rid of you. Now I feel better about the whole thing. It'll come out. It'll be more interesting too, because you'll see how I'll control. I can still spray the colors I mixed, like that lighter color there. And I can look at my, let's see, yeah, this is like, I guess this is a little bit more, where is that? Yeah, in here, it's not, that's not the same color. It's more of a, it's a pinkish red, but it's not that color. It's this color sprayed lightly. Okay. A little bit more frisket removing. Yeah, because there's a lot of see-through areas that it's nice to have some of the shapes, but there's a lot of see-through areas that are just totally overlapping and see-through, and you can see one behind the other. Okay, that's open. That's not open there. So I feel something there. Oh, it's here. Nope. Right there. Okay, where are you? Oh, it's off. Okay. So if you cut too deep, which I didn't think I did, you can end up getting a little knife cut, which I don't want. Sorry about the shaking there. That's the only area right there I feel a little bit of the knife. And it either was I didn't change the blade in time quick enough, meaning, you know, take your time and get another blade on there, and that's it, you know. So I do feel like there's a piece there. Oh, that's the outer frisket. Okay. Up here we go, right out here. Now remember, the outside's protected. Okay, so there's no more frisket anywhere except down at the bottom here. That actually is yellow. So I can leave that on there just to keep it white. This is yellow. And now I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove this because I don't like this dark area right there. So I'm going to take not a paper towel. I'm going to get a tissue. I'm going to just remove it from the picture. The reason why I want to remove it is basically to be more like a transparent thinking mode. I can get away with this. I mean, it's a rose, but I just don't like this area. So I'm going to take some Windex and then remove it. I want to control the light and the dark better, like right in here. Doesn't matter to me if there's a little staining going on because it should be fine, but it's a lot of staining going on actually. All right, I'm gonna just kind of sweep into that and see what happens. Get some texture too, right? Yeah, there's a little cut mark there and there. So I'm just gonna take it out. So the red is like very like staining. I don't think I have a problem anywhere else with the cuts. Nope, just here. Got a little heavy-handed, so the way I'm going to treat it, and it will help me with the stain, is I'm going to get 1000 sandpaper, 1000 grit, and I'm just going to kind of erase, but I need to air dry that a little bit. Now, if I want to get fanatical as far as that cut line, this is Claybord, and that's why. Now, if I had cut into the Blair synthetic paper, it would have been cut right through. So, you think you're doing, I haven't done Frisket in a while. I mean, when it comes to, and I thought I was doing really good without cutting in, but unfortunately, I pressed a little too hard. Maybe I didn't change that blade quick enough. Okay, so the thousandths paper, wet dry. I'm just going to go and kind of go where the cuts are. I'm going to go in the same direction just to erase it out a little bit. And on the Claybord, while you're doing this, you get little swirls, but if you keep going at it, the swirls get taken out too. They are just, I don't know. It's before I knew about the sandpaper, I used to say, "Oh man, what did I do? What's the board doing?" Trial and error, right? So I keep moving this around till I get to a place where I have more grit on there. It's almost becoming just a pencil line now. Yeah. So I can feel that is really being removed. You can get like a powdery kind of thing going on here. I still see the sections. I'm sorry about the cell phone doing a dance there, but so I'll get one more piece. Go after the cut mark right there. Again, I'm sorry for the shaking of the phone. I don't see any way to get around that. Could take this on my lap, and let me just put my arm on the arm there. Keep that from moving. The arm that's holding the cell phone. Kind of keeping it from doing that. So it erases, it gets the paint off, but it also can get that cut mark down to where you're not really feeling it anymore. It'll get buried. Opaque paint's pretty thick. I'm pressing hard now on this area. Frisket. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the cut's gone. Where else is it still? Take my fingernail. No more catching on it. So it's like a permanent pencil line, but I'm using opaque paints. So I'll go one more time. Yeah, no magnets, but the thing is, this is the the good part and the bad part, right? The good part is that you can do this. You can't do this to other substrates. You just can't. Not that I know of. You know. You just get that cut, but I shouldn't have that cut there. That's a no-no. And for anybody that's cutting, make sure you're just using the blade. Change it every. You just want to sink it into the Frisket, not into the substrate. And that's where I went wrong here. So a lesson to anybody that is using the film, just, and if I was not on a video, I could have really taken that to where it's just about gone now. If I go any more, that line will disappear from my image. So what I'm going to do now is take the red and treat it. So I have a curve here. I can try to use different shields I have. Even though I might have to cut out a little black and white here and there, I might find the shape, with the big, like right there. Now, what's better about this than, say, the Frisket is This is, you can let underspray go under it. You could lift it like this a little bit and shield it that way. And that's the shape right there. So I'm happy. I'm glad I took that inner frisket off. I'm looking at the picture and I have to kind of just dust it. I'm going to just dust it in. This is going to be a lighter pink in here, so I'll just, do I got color in there? Not much. Because I could actually get my pinks from just spraying lighter, but I didn't lay other swatches on top of each other to test to see how close they were. I just went after making them. So you got to get that just kind of blown under there like that. Just finding the shape. That's all I'm trying to do right now. I'm going to spray a lighter color right here. And now I'm going to, remember, tip dry. Take the eraser, try to go after some of the pencil lines a little bit more. You don't need to see them that much. Some of them are highlight lines. I think I can look at the reference picture now. I don't want to kill every one because I do need to see a little bit of where I'm going. Okay. So for what it's worth, I am going to erase this out a little bit more and maybe use the color I mixed just to see the difference. Okay, so let's try this. Freehand it. Here's my reference. I'm focusing on this area. It's not 100%. That's, when I sprayed it and it got really dark, either I mismatched making my color, or I just wasn't paying attention to that. You got to have patience with it. You got to, there's transitions even in here that are not 100%. They're just maybe close to like 70 or 80%. And this is going to just melt right here. It's going to melt right onto. Now I can get a little darker right there and play with these shapes. So let me get the little shield. See if I can find this one. Too much of a circle right there. That's that one. If you turn them enough, I guess you could find them. The little shapes. Frisket does make it nice where you can work it, but okay, so that's going to be showing up in there. Here, I'm just going to sculpt with the freehand style and treat all this like a transparent, as I said, and from there I will bring the colors to more saturated. That means the spraying it heavier and getting the results that I want, but I'm going to work it. Kind of dark up in here. Okay, then the highlight is on the next color. So the next color is this color, spray lighter. So let's just see what we can find here.
Ellie sent a video. She played a song on her guitar.
Oh, cool. I'll check that out later. I love it.
I told her you're teaching right now.
No, that's cool though. I'm excited. My granddaughter, I gave her a guitar I had, and she sent a video just now to my wife of her playing, and I can't wait to hear it. I'm just showing her what I know with the guitar, like tell her the string names, you know, the things that she needs to know. And elementary beginner stuff, right? But she's done a little song for me, so I can't wait to hear it. I had an Ariana guitar. I had two of them, actually. Can't give one of them away. And the Ariana guitar is now in her possession. It was really for a professional or somebody that plays a lot. Like, I'll play the guitar for a pleasure and not to bore anybody with being in a band or something like that. But I moved into the Fender world, and I was able to give her the guitar that I had. And I love it when somebody starts to actually have a passion for it and not just like, oh, Grandpa, I'll take it, you know. No, she's doing it, man. Okay, so what is this? This comes up there, it goes over. Okay, this comes over, so the drawing is incomplete here. Let me just finish this line here. Give me a little guide. Let's see. No, that should be rolling right through here, just like that. I just need to have that there because it's not there. Okay, so then what is that? Oh, I see what it is. It's all the see-through stuff. All the see-through. So, Grandpa, meaning me, got to give her the guitar, and we had a little guitar lesson the other night, just talking about the names of the strings and some basic chords. She's going real quick. I mean, she's putting down her fingers correctly. If anybody plays the guitar, you know, you get the hammer, kind of like, you got to get that note. You got to not hit the metal part, the fret. And she was doing it. She was playing a G chord. She was playing a, you know, I think I got her to play a C and a G and possibly a D. And the changes are going to take, but she's developing calluses, and yeah. So if you see a new band on the rise, me and my granddaughter, just let me know. Okay, so there's going to be a nice highlight here, so I'm going to just dust in some color, and then I'm going to take, like I said, I'm treating that. See, this dowel on Drew's paper, which would be the synthetic paper, I could put the highlight in. I can't do it on the Claybord. It won't, to my knowledge, it won't really work. Now it's working because it's really wet, but it's not working in the sense of like, say, an eraser would. I'm gonna try a Tombow. I don't like the erasers with the Tombow. I think they're a plastic. I wish they were grittier. You know, not quite an aggressive eraser, but somewhere in between where I could come along and do this. Where is my Tombow? Two of them. Here it is. All right. So what I have here is an eraser, obviously, that you can pump up like a click pen, right? Or you can send it back down, send it out. So what I can do with that is I can either, that would be too fat, so I'm going to try to chisel off by just cutting off that part. And then when I pop that back up again, I'll get more of a chisel. Whoops, sorry, out of focus. Chisel, yeah, the focus is... Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I would like to turn this, but it doesn't want to go so easily. So I'll just take the edge of this eraser and see if it works. It probably won't because it's the plastic. Yeah, a little bit. Not much. And there is a time, like I just broke into that, there is a time when you really don't want to be erasing at this stage on the Claybord. I know that from experience. So let's get A little dusting on this one above. Yeah, all the hard work of mixing all these colors, and I'm like going to the old school. It'll still work though. So you just want to take your shields and find sections. So Frisket's gone. It's out of my way. It's a nightmare for me. It was a nightmare. I'm going to go right up on there to there. And I'm going to just blow this color onto here. Like that. And you start getting sections. You could treat this like a whole different, you could stay away from the photograph and you could just make this look pretty by just building it up, and not worrying about, say, the exact amount. Like the rose could be softer. It could be just a softer version of it, softer colors. So that's going there. Now there is, I don't know what I use this part. On the one here, it has a nice little edge right here. And I'm going to just deflect a little bit. I'm going to spray on the shield. I'm going to spray and then look at it. See, now it's getting a little darker right at the top. And then along here, I think it starts doing its thing right here so you can still see it inside the shape. Okay, now this kind of melts together right here, so I'll just use the same color. Remember, there's outer frisket. And if you were using like that kind of a background, black, and you're using transparent, the transparent colors will not be affected, so you don't have to use anything, you know. I was just watching a little video of my friend's Mark's page. It's called The Art Workshop. Highly recommend it, his YouTube channel. He's painting a rose with all transparents. And he's successfully moving along very quickly. And matter of fact, he has another video of a bunch of different flowers. So it's called The Art Workshop. It's Mark. He's the artist. What a great YouTube channel. I mean, this guy delivers a professional. He does a voiceover, so he uploads the videos. I don't think they're live, you know. I don't know if he does live videos, but he uploads the videos, and it's just really, really good stuff. So check that out, and you'll see a transparent version of painting. Now this one crashes right into this one, so I'll just kind of walk that up there. Now I get softer transitions too. That's what I like. So these kind of just melt right here, right at this point. You can't see any difference right here. They just melt, but then it gets lighter. So I'll just take this color. What is that? Okay. I'll just tint the edge for that pink highlight. I hope you guys can see it. I can zoom in a little bit more. I think the zoom's been working better. Yeah, it is. Maybe they heard people complaining like, okay. I hope my volume's good enough, guys. Okay, here we go. We'll get in as close as we can so you guys can see the transitions. And I need that to go that way. And I need to walk it in a little closer. There we go. That should do it. Right around there. Now my OCD's kicking in. My sign painting. Oh, it's got to be perfect. You know, a picture on the wall. When you're in the sign business, as many years as I was in it, you could see something because you've measured and you've put up signs and you've done this on trucks and you've worked with contours, and your eye gets trained really, really good to the point where you could start seeing, you go to somebody's house and you're like, that picture's crooked. That picture is a 18 by 24. It's like, well, how do you know that? Well, that's what I would guess because of seeing and working on so many sizes that you just start to see it. And you know, you could guess like, well, that's not a 4 by 8. It's up too high on a wall, say like 2 stories. It looks like a 4 by 8 from the ground. It's probably twice the size because it's, you know, in a place where you just can't get the right dimensions. You just can't. But anyway, that's another story. So let's just put a little highlight here by just protecting that area. This right here, oops, I turned that down. See the highlight that just came in? So, okay, so we want to get some pink in here. Do a little feather stroke right there. Yeah, it might be a little too dark, but I'm not going to tell nobody. And then you just dust over everything. And now you have the illusion of see-throughness, you know? It's just starting to all see through. This melts together, these two. That's where the Frisket would have been in the way because I don't need those hard edges. All right? I can see that that needs a little pinkish where the highlight is. And there's going to be a nice little shadow right here. Erase that out. It's just cutting across. Just kill that down there. All right, I need my aggressive eraser. And I need to, first of all, clean it. It's got paint on it. And just erase that out, the overspray. That works. And I got to find out where my next section is. Now, if I sharpen this, I can get, you know, JC, how you doing? Yeah, I've been on the YouTube live since Facebook's lives were just not working. Just ask Steve Leahy; he'll tell you all about it. We all jumped ship. I might try a YouTube, a Facebook live one night just to see how it's behaving. Here we go. Now we're going to just walk that highlight up, keeping it very skinny, and just pull. Tapers right there. And if you ever erase too much, remember, you just bring your other color back up to it. I'm making this too fat at the top, but that's, oh no, that's going to be a darker color here, so that'll work out good. So I'm going to just kind of draw it in. Okay, then I'm going to get rid of the paint on the end of the thing by going on to a piece of copy paper, and then you clean the tip off. Okay, so where are we? We are walking our way over here. I kind of should erase this out because of me going after that overspray. I forgot that I already put the pink in here. So I want the whole area, especially if it was transparent. You want to have a complete clean area to go into because transparent will get darker and darker and darker and you'll be in trouble. You'll never get rid of that. Now the 100% spraying of the opaques, that's another story, but at the same time, okay, so we want to just kind of, I'm going mostly on the Frisket, right, to get that highlight area, whoops, working. Okay, I hope this is focused enough. It looks blurry. Let me see. I know the background's blurry, but that's looking blurry. There we go. Okay, so this moves along quicker. There's a strong highlight here. So I'm going to take advantage of this brand new paint and I'm going to just pull it out right there. Okay, it's waiting now for a mist of color to go over it. It's actually, this can be fun. It reminds me of like with graphite, when you're working graphite portraits or whatever. It can be really fun because you're moving along quickly and you're using an eraser and you're using the pencil. And on here, it's the same thing because we have such a light spray. Now, this one didn't work out good, this highlight, because I used the dowel, and you can't use the dowel. You can use the eraser. See that? Right there. The dowel marked it up bad right there because this isn't Drew's paper. Just was trying it. So let's see if I can just smooth that out a little bit, make it bigger than it needs to be, but get rid of that harsh dowel skipping that happened on the Claybord. There we go. I can always bring other colors back down to it. A little strong right in here, but I'm going to press harder right there. Make it bigger than it needs to be. There. There's not even a highlight back here, so I can fill that in with color. All right. So now we're going to go to this section, and we're going to pay attention to it having its own highlight by having more color over in this section. Like that. I went a little hard. Not a little, I filled in too much. So I'm just going to take that out right there. Harsh, but I'll soften it. That's how quick you can remove it. Pressing real light now with the, because on Claybord, the erasing really works better on the next day. It just, the Createx goes through its chemical change and just becomes workable, not workable anymore. Like it's a little harder to do. But on the Claybord, it's the opposite. It works better when it's done its, whoops, tip dry. What is wrong with me? Spraying mostly on the frisket there. Okay. So what do we got now? We've got number 11 there. Number 10 there. All right, so this is its confused on this section right here. Oh yeah, that's that one. Let me put a little pink in here. Spraying the same color lighter, that's all. Just to find out where I am, you know. Again, I decided to just treat this differently than when I first started out on the video today. Start getting the sections. I feel like it goes out of focus when I pull the airbrush away. Okay, so let me back out a little bit. Well, I guess it's gonna look like that. Softer out of focus softness there. Okay, so this flower right here, this leaf kind of goes up right here. Nothing's coming out, so that's either no paint or, oh, my finger hit the actual. Okay, another brain freeze. It hit the dial on the, I can't believe it. I'm having a brain freeze of what this is called. It's happening more and more as I get older. I'm going to be 71 years old. This is funny. It's not funny, but it's happening a lot. Little shield right kind of here. It has a little hard edge. Bring it back this way. And it didn't quite go. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. So these cross over right here. And then this crosses over. Keep that right there. Get the nice softer edges. This kind of is one here, so I don't have to worry about seeing like an overlap there. But now when I spray this color here, I'm going to have just a lighter spray there and then get to the full stronger color here. See the variations there. It's all kind of the same color. There's a little, you can see that, it's a little darker right here. But then it almost blends in the same right here. So I'm leaving openings here. Just a little more smoother blending there. And let's see where we're at. Okay, I'm going to take another red that I mixed. Basically, all the reds have the same mixtures, but they have something else in them. Obviously more white, or excuse me, or more maybe red violet, or tweaking here and there that made the color be a little different hue, you know? So I'm going to take it and put it in the gun after I get out the old. Really not a flower painting artist. I really never gone after that subject matter. Certain things, you know, artists paint all the time. They're known for, say, floral, whether they're watercolor, acrylics, whatever they are, or they're landscape artists, seascapes, marine art. I like a lot of things to do with landscapes and things like that. I like portraits, but not something I do a lot. I was into pet portraits for a while. After a while, it gets a little bit. Oh boy, I tell you, man, you get that fur, you see it in your sleep. So this is a little different hue, and I'm going to spray it and treat it like it's got the edges here. Looks the same. This shoots out though, like, let me just work it in here, keep it light, and then it starts, I see some veins actually in here. Just a little bit. down here. Where is that? That goes up further. Whoops. That particular batch had too much 4011 in it, or what, 2011, I'm sorry. Thank you, Astro, I appreciate that. So, let's see, I've not been looking too much at some of these comments. I just reinstalled, and then there is this thing when we games. Oh, you're talking about, I guess, software games? Okay. All right. So, clean up on aisle 7. There we go. All right. So, yeah. That's where the frisket comes in good on the edge, you know. So, yeah, it's got to be, and if it's sharp, like if that's a sharp edge, you got to put it in. You know, you can't skip around where there's a sharp edge. Where there's a soft edge, like here, right here, that's a soft edge where you don't want a shield, right in here. So I'll just kind of freehand it. And that looks better than, you know, tinting lightly over the so-called highlights there. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. That needs some second coating. And that is going to have a little highlight on the edge. So I'm going to take the sharpener. I know it wastes my pencil quicker, but it's a live stream, so I got to do it. I'm just going to go on the frisket and let a little edge. That's too rough. There we go. It's a little fatter than I want it, but it should be all right in the end as far as softening it. It's not exactly the same shape as that. I see that now. Broke away from it somewhere. Make my own shape. Okay, so now that's a redder. This is all frisket in there. Okay. So let's see, what do we got? I'm going to go back to this red and just put it in here and then start with that darker red. So wherever I see a little pink, let's see. 11, number 8. Where's number 8? Here it is. Here's a good example, like, they're not the same. If you spray this number 10 that I mixed, you're not going to get that pink. You're going to get a pink, kind of, sort of, but you're not going to get what's in the photograph. Because it's tested and it's you can see it with your own eyes that it's, but you can get away with, you know, the transparent kind of thing. You can definitely get away with it. Still has a nice, I'm going to just take this pink and spray it in here. The transition's nice because there's some light, there's a lot of light hitting this. All right, so this is pinker, so let's just put it in, the pink I made, and it starts looking more realistic to me because you're using the right colors in the right places. Now this highlight here, and then that red's going to cut right through there. This pink in here might not work because I've got it going over another color. Let's put this here. Air dry, that kind of blew up on me there and missed it right there. And I'll hit it with the red to separate it. Here on the outer edge, we've got some pink in here. Looks pretty red. Very tricky. I'm going to dust the pink in on it and then bring the other color to it, meaning the red over it. Right here, just spray this heavier. And right here, kind of like it breaks away into a little section here. It's kind of see-through-ish. All see-through. Okay. Yeah, very blurry. Thank you, JC. Appreciate it. We got some really cool lit up, the thorns lit up when the light was coming through it. So that should look cool. But that, I won't be focusing on that right now. Just spray this color lighter too on the edge. Frisk it's all out here. Now I'm going to go back to the red. Red. Oh, I just sprayed this out, but I ruined it. I just sprayed real fast like this, and it made a perfect heart on the paper. That was cool looking. I've dropped a drop of, I had white, and I would drop a drop of black to make a gray, and the little, off the end of the paintbrush, a little dot and a little dot, and it smiled. It just happened quickly, and it had a little, two eyes and a little smile line in the white paint. It happens a lot where you get these cool little mistakes, like Bob Ross would say, happy little accidents. Okay, now I'm just gonna push my chair back about I'm probably about 4 feet away now. Now I'm not looking through my reader, so I'm looking at the painting, and I'm studying it. I'm looking at the photograph. It's pretty close as far as there's pretty cool things going on, but now you can just start saying, I need more of the red here, and I need, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to take the red, and I'm going to go after, actually, do I have any pink still in the gun? I'm going to go back over in here, I see some pink still. That then the red can, because remember you work from light to dark with these colors. And I'm gonna just kind of have this waiting in here, this pinkish color. Didn't even pay attention to that. Wow, it's just there. And then it's on the outer part. It's the highlight, I guess. So that pink will be waiting under the flower. This pink. I might have to spray some white on that and get that to be better. But right now, that's pretty cool. All right, so I saw under the color, there's a red over here, but I see pink trying to be the first color. So I'm gonna put it down. Maybe even bring it across like that. Now I'll put my red, because I don't see that up higher. I just see it at the bottom. And then I'll go to the red. Okay, the lid's back on and get my red going. Getting down there on the red. Still got, I guess I could put a drop of distilled water in, just a drop, just to make it flow more. When you start getting down there, you usually have enough. Sometimes you don't make enough color and then you're in trouble, but that's why I write a few notes on these things. White, no, that's not a good one. This one. Red, cobalt blue, CB, black, burnt umber, and white. So this burgundy color has brown in it and blue, red, and a little bit of black. That's what the dots are. See the little dots? When I have one dot, that means the tip of a paintbrush. Stir it in a little. Don't put a full drop out of the bottle, because that could be a nightmare when you're mixing only that amount of paint. You know, it can shift real quickly. Trying to get back to the red. Okay, so we have a shape here that kind of goes free. I'll freehand it in. It kind of goes like that. I want it soft anyway, so, but then it starts to really, I'm talking about in here, it starts to really go into a really nice red right here. And this crosses over out of there, and then it's light again, and then it's dark. So it's like transitions of spraying the same color but leaving some lights and darks. Now this red could fire up in here. Because there's going to be browns and burgundy-ish colors. This is going to be dark here. There's a light in here. Dark here. Gonna be real dark there, like, you know, the brownish reds, burgundies, and what have you. And every time you put a darker color, and then the lighter color looks even better because they're next to each other. And that is what makes it really look nice. So this is going to be right here. I'm not going to waste this color too much. I just want a little deeper red here for a minute. Dip dry. Start seeing more things going on. Going back over some areas that were already done. little bit of the 4021 reducer. So I'm getting down there, and I'm going to put a drop in. And if I have to, I could put the base in, transparent base for a little body, but I think I think I'll be all right. I'm going to put a little bit in the gun, the 4021, and just flush it out a little bit with some high pressure. And now we've got more paint that we can take further. Should flow a little nicer too. So what's going on here? We got a little bit more of a shape here, so I'll use the big shield. Let's see, that flower and this flower. Instead of this being a highlight, it's a highlight and a red right there. Oh, it's a little bit too watery. Okay. Yeah, it's too watery. Okay. So, well, maybe if I stirred it a little bit, that would have helped. But, okay, so we've got this shape. Where is it? It's kind of a... Let's see if I can just make it with this. And this side. I'm losing some of my drawing, but I can kind of see it a little bit. So. Oops. There we go. Different areas. Yeah, these are more distinct shapes. I'll have to go in there later and bring them out more. I'll be doing some erasing off, camera. Well, it will be maybe too long of a wait for next week. Whoops, I wiped that right off, didn't I? That's all right. Wipe that one out. It almost feels like there's film on there. Let me check. That didn't feel right. There is. So I was painting on that one. I was painting on the film. The last piece of the frisket that I'll just dust this in. There's got to definitely be more defined shapes as we go. And what will help that right now is the darker color after I get this a little more red here. Some of it's getting lost in itself, but okay, we'll get the darker color going now. This has a little color in here. All right. This is red. That's a little piece that's protected. This is more pink. And just bring it up there because it's going to get real dark there. And this does have some, when I put the brown on there, it does have some red in it, the stem, right in there. I'll just leave that for there for when I go over it. Now I'm going to get my darker color. Okay. The sharpness helps it, you know. You need to see the edges. So you got under there a little bit because it's curling, the piece of frisket. But that's okay because that's dark and that can be painted later. Just erasing on the film frisket, which I've used the, it's art tool, but I use the, whatchamacallit, the one that has the, not the high shine, you know, just kind of satin finish, flat they call it, I think. I'll erase the highlights on them later, and that'll help. A little baby one in there. Just go on to the frisket and let some of it hit. Okay, before I get in trouble. And some of the contrasts have to be adjusted here. Okay. Okay, let me get the other color in there, or nothing's going to happen. I could cut out the stencil. That might be a wise thing to do for that shape. This one I could kind of put in a little bit right here. Whoa. Mac valve. I couldn't remember what this was called before. It's a Mac valve. Control the volume of the thing. But these are things that happen. Okay, where was the shape I was trying to do? I was trying to just do it right here, just a little bit, just to get it started. Separate things. Try a little. No, I'm going to cut the stencil out. So I have on the side here cutting mat. The whole desk is a cutting mat, and it's a art tool product. And I'm just going to take a black and white copy. Do this quickly. So I have to decide, what do I need? You know, what I need right now is the bottom. So I need to cut out this shape right there. So I might be able to turn. Let me just. I have this taped down. Let me just slide the picture over more. Now you can see that. And I'm going to turn the camera more that way. Okay. Hopefully you'll see it. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to just get rid of the stuff I don't need, obviously. But the art tool cutting mat is like so great compared to the kind you get like at Michael's, the ones that are green with the grid on it. That's not soft material. The blade, oh, it's horrible to me. I don't recommend that one at all. So I want to just follow this dark line. I'll just go, let's see, where do I want to go? I got a little confusion here. I guess I can just take that part out. I wanted to make, actually, I guess this is going to work. I hope you guys can see it. It's a little bit hard because it's off to the side and my hand has to work in front of your, it's not a perfect cut. It will do, I guess. So what do I need? I need that popped out. That should be a good start, I think. I think. I'll just pull this out, down and away. See if I can go this way. The piece in the center is going to fall out. No, it didn't. Okay, so I have that now. Now I got to be careful here because the lining up. I've got to get that. I need that top piece cut too. Whoops. I'm kind of rushing here. I shouldn't be doing that. But it's an awkward position too to be in. For me, my neck is killing me. So where does that go? Up higher? Let's see, it goes that way. I think I can dust it in and get something going on, because obviously I cut out at the bottom and that's not going to happen. So let me find it. There's the outer shape, right about there. And that's not lining up perfectly, but let me just get this one on here. So edge more. drawing is crazy. The drawing's down there. I know I didn't cut it that wrong. I'm just going to move this around for a minute. Okay. So I'm just going to dust in a little color right here. Just right there. Just to find it. Now I'm going to go back to that shape. And I'm going to bring that in and put that one there. I'll just take a chance and do it. There we go. It worked. Then I'm going to put that there and go down, line that one up right there. Now you run out of paint. Ugh. No, it's not empty. It must be tip dry. Yeah, it was tip dry. Well, at least I have that little mark now to get back in there. Right around there. Right around there. Somewhere in there. Just see what I already did. Just kind of put that in there like that. It's pretty dark, so I'm gonna put it in. This is where, gosh, guys, I'm sorry. I still got you over on the side. I sprayed that little bit in. Sorry. I was having fun. Okay, but you could already see that having the paper cutouts will give me a lot more to work with. Let's see, this can kind of just cut in there like that. Like that. It leaves a little highlight on the outside. I'm just dancing it around a little bit. Now, this part in here, is that film on there still? Yep. I guess that could stay there. Oh, that's the stem, yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's the leaf. But by having this, because up above would be the other shield. So I'm gonna cut it off to the side on another piece of paper. So I print out a lot of them. Sorry that I hit that thing. So I'm just gonna cut out this shape. I'll bring it over and show you what I mean. But I'm gonna use to spray off of the shape. Just almost there. Just hanging there. Just open this up and just cut this out like that, just so I have a shield. Now, the opening is crazy because you don't want to hit the top part. If you hit the top part, you'll have that horrible line. So I have to go back in here and I have to find the actual area, which I do believe is there, somewhere around here, right around there. Yeah, now that should be a little rounder, but I'm not going to worry about it right at the moment. Okay, I won't spray over there, but I need to see my real picture, see what I'm doing here. Okay, so there's a little color here. I'm going to deflect off of the shape, go over here a little bit, and then get stronger in here. And it's not super dark up here. It's just, you'll just see it for what it's worth, and I can always darken it if I need to. But that way, you've got paper copies. The fan just blew that right almost into the garage. Okay. Yeah, so then there'll be things like this. Let's see. Just try to freehand it. little by little. Tip dry don't help. Now the separations of all these to make sense for, trying to see the flower and the separations. Like right here, I could probably, no, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna use the paper. Use it because it's the shape. Instead of grabbing like the Frisket, the Mylar miniature, these guys, curves, French curves, or the miniature one. Whoops. That would be this one, the smaller one. You gotta be careful of the little openings. Drew always adds a lot of extra little things you can use it for to get details besides the shapes. You can get that kind of stuff going on, the little speckles. I'll do it over, where can you see it? Right here maybe? Straight through those shapes, and you can get that kind of stuff. And that texture and stuff can be very handy. Or you can spray off of the shapes. So here's a good example of spraying off the shape. Let's just deflect it a little bit soft. Raised shield. See that nice edge there? Not a raised shield. See the difference? Super raised shield. Softer and softer edges. It's very important. I gotta be careful here. I think this can come in handy right in here. Just part of the shape. Right there. Just to help define it a little better. Wherever you can use little shapes, it's okay, but you might need your real stencil to get, I'm talking about the paper stencil, because the shape is already there. So it takes a minute just to cut out. If the fan would stop blowing all my, if you guys could see other camera angles, you'd be laughing. Like, I'm barefoot, I'm grabbing the paper stencil, trying to pull it back. I need this one, okay? So I'm just gonna cut it out on the side, and I only need, it's time for a new blade. I only need the edge of it for deflecting paint up. So let's go with that one. There it is, it's cut, but it's not open yet. So I'm gonna take it out for what it's worth here. Pop that out. Now, all I care about really is the bottom shape. That shape. A lot of times my 5x7, I thought I had two 5x7s. Excuse me, but I don't. Indigestion from rushing eating dinner. I'm sorry. Okay, so this shape just comes to the corner, tip it up, and I'm going to deflect. Remember, I don't want that dark. I don't want the dark, super dark one. I just want a little bit. So I'll spray on the shield and I'll just walk it a little bit like that. And maybe a little more. One more time. Get that back in line and look at the thing, maybe one up there, and one more time, just one pass, just to make it a stronger red. And yet, again, that highlight's gonna go on top of there. So this can act like these, little things here. I see a little color kind of coming up in here, freehand. Real dark here. Real dark. And then it just kind of blows up in there a little bit like that. Go back over this way more. All right, so now, let's see. Okay, if you guys are liking the video, it helps move the video along. I know you're saying things that looking great, Bill, and all that. Thank you. But if you could hit the like button on the video, and maybe even share it if you want to your own page or to a page that would be like an Airbrush page or something. That's all great for other people to get to see it. And the likes, just let the artists like me know, hey, you guys liked it. And that's a big deal, you know, because I work hard trying to bring this to you. It's not a monetized channel. It's probably getting to one day where it will be. That means I'll just get paid from YouTube, I guess. I'm not even sure how it works. Anyway, yeah, if you could hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm gonna try to do some uploads too. I haven't done an upload in a long time, which just means it's not live feed. It's just regular. That's all I used to do until YouTube went nuts on me. Not YouTube, Facebook. I did lives on there all the time, and it just wasn't working anymore. So I'm trying to use my eye for the judgment of how much darkness. It's pretty dark right there. Pretty dark. And that's protected, the green area is protected with film. So where else we got a little bit of, we got this darkness coming off here, which I could make a shield because it starts right around here. And I'm going to try to freehand it, see if I can. Oops, I better not. It didn't go out of the area it belongs in, so we just will be all right for a few minutes. That's first skit. And you got little baby things going on under here. I see one more little shape. Just working the shapes as I get across. Like that one's real important. Important right there. Try to cut that one out. Get a new blade at this point. I said it a number of times. Even on cutting out the paper, you're talking about having the best, control. And well, I already sunk into the frisket, so I hit one spot right in here, but I sanded it out. You can watch that earlier in the video where I cut too deep into the actual board, which you don't want. Yeah, what a difference. This thing is gliding now. Just follow the rules of the teacher says, my teacher says, hey, change the blade off, and that would be Drew telling me. He has a reason. He's worked as an illustrator, and he was under pressure, having deadlines and all that. Now he's teaching, obviously, but he was. When somebody has results, it doesn't matter if it's Michael Jordan, Drew Blair, and yes, I am saying the two names because they're both. Drew is at a level that if Michael Jordan saw his work, he'd be like thinking, well, you're Michael Jordan of the airbrush world. That's how I see it. So if you find you're Michael Jordan, meaning somebody that knocks your socks off, and it doesn't matter who it is, I'm talking about in the airbrush world, and you find somebody, Steve Leahy, okay, he's one right there. You follow and you listen to that teacher. You do the little things that he maybe even just is saying very briefly, like, oh yeah, you do this, or you just watch. Maybe sometimes we don't even say, I'm not counting myself in that league. Maybe we just don't say as a teacher every little thing we're doing, but I'll tell you what, when you find your Michael Jordan, you listen to him. Okay, so that's that, and there's the cutout. So I'm going to try to find that. I guess it's somewhere in here. Yeah, this is lining back up. So that lines up. Then this lines up. It's higher, so the angle's different. I got to get to that angle. Nope, like that. Nope, there. Oh boy. That should work. I might have cut this out. No, I cut it out right. I cut it out right. This should work. I'm going to go for it because it doesn't matter if it's off a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to dust this in right here. Here. It's dark in here. And I'm going to dust it in lightly on the edge just to find it. Okay, and then I could play around with like, okay, here's the darker area right here. So you just put that back up, line it up. Yeah, so when I first saw Drew Blair, I came home and I said to myself, okay, I love this style. This guy's like Drew Blair in the airbrush world. To me, I mean, probably to a lot of other people too. I'm using basketball as an analogy, but the guy, take advantage of these artists that are here with us still, still with us. I mean, we've lost some great ones. Stephen, oh gosh, Driscoll. Oh, I loved his work. His T-shirt man. Boy, he could do some stuff. Okay, I want this one now, so I'm hitting the phone. I'm sorry. I'm going to just cut this out right here and lift this section out. And I'm going to get this little guy going right next to this one, right off there. I got to make sure it's up higher, so I'll line this up to kind of find it, and then I'll look. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Just a dusting, just a little noise there, a little more. I sprayed a little too dark there, but it's okay. A little dusting here, freehand going across. Deepen this red a little by just tinting over it, separating things. I don't want to get like, well, that's what it is. It's really dark there. So I'm just kind of copying what I see. What is going on here? Ah, that's that frisket. Okay. Okay, so this one needs a cutout too, right? Okay. So what time is it? We've got, well, it's 2 hours. I'm going to call it a video. Is Michael Jordan taller than you, Steve? Michael Jordan, what's he, 6'5" or something? But it is the truth, though. I mean, when you find somebody that can rock it, whether it's basketball, football, art, music, guitar, drums, whatever you like, if somebody's really good, hang out with them. Steve, I'm coming over. Hang out with the person and, learn from them. Learn from them. I did have a dream a long time ago when I first met you, Steve, and I went somewhere, I guess where you were, and you were in the dream, and I was visiting you, and it was really cool because I was like, this is Steve Leahy. Oh my gosh, he knows my name. Yeah. But that is the truth. I mean, you find somebody, we all know that kind of, sort of, right? Just follow somebody that's really good, and that's it. All right, I'm gonna end this video. I always like to get rid of the garbage behind it, so I'll pull that off there. And let me just, I have white paper on top of white paper here. Let me just look at it without all the overspray. That's how I like to see the finished. I could take a screenshot too, whoops, sorry, and send that out as a progress shot. And I can even do something like this for a progress shot. Let's see. No, I can't. It's too hard. This isn't the regular camera. But I could always put the airbrush into the picture, which I'll do later. But there it is. That's where we're at now. So there's our little sample. Colors are pretty good, I guess. You can always tweak things. Nothing's finished. I like to see this light green because of that green come in over here. That's going to look cool. And then that next week would be, maybe the video might be an hour only next week or whatever, but it might be longer. But anyway, I'll be studying this. I'll be looking at it and going, oh man, I don't like that. And keep in mind, this is all the true color is under there. So when you start to see it against its true colors, everything starts to look better. So anyway, I'm going to say goodnight for now. Be safe. You guys have fun with your airbrush journeys. And yeah, God bless you guys. See you next week if you so want to watch it. Take care and good night. Yes, Astra, I'll be on 7 next week. That's what I'm shooting for, okay? If it changes, I will not advertise. If I don't advertise, that means Facebook, and if you don't see it on the airbrush page or a little video I pop up, then that means I'm not going to be doing it that day. So I see one thing I want to tint right now, right here. Yeah, just a little stronger. Okay, good night, everyone.